Yeah, hello, it's Dr. Phil in the edit here. I just noticed that I didn't mention at any point in time that I'm as much of a hack at the opals as most of the other amateurs are around here. And so, yeah, I've done a lot of research into the Mintabie opal, but what I've got, and what a lot of people do have with these opals as a general rule, is a lot of hearsay. So if you disagree with what I'm actually saying about this opal, well, yeah, you're perfectly entitled to disagree. You may even be right. There is a comment section down at the bottom that you can discuss to your heart's content where I've gone right, where I've gone wrong with this. I won't be offended. I am a hack just like everybody else is around here. My degree's in soil science. It's not in opal, although I quite enjoy opal and I think there's a lot of crossover. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm right. Just pointing that out in case you're thinking that I'm trying to stamp my authority all over this stuff. Nah. It's meant to be. It's going to kill you. It's going to kill me. Anywho, back to the video. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's Dr. Phil here, and flying in the face of every common sense idea, I am going to try a long format video. Yep, it seems that everything on YouTube wants to be a YouTube short or a TikTok-y thing. I'm going to try the long format. So the 3 people who are going to watch this, they better appreciate it. Now, I think there's enough of us out there who are actually interested in good information. And if there's only like a few people who really want good information, that's fine. Let's do it that way. And I'll go TikTok something later. I'm sure I've got a great dance that I can twerk for you. Woohoo! I can represent it with my tweezers. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Yeah, at any rate, sadly, I'm not a teenage girl, so I can't do that. But what I was going to do was I was going to talk to you about a topic which has actually been encountered quite a few times, and that is the topic that is Mintabie. So I thought I'd show you a few, shall we say, classic examples of what a Mintabie opal is like. Here's a good one. It's big, so we can, well, it's not enormous, but we can really see some of the features with this little thing. So what you can see here, instantly, some of the problems and some of the beauties of this opal are immediately apparent. You can see that this is the top or bottom. I'm not sure which one's the top or bottom. Actually, we'll find it out. Let's have a look at the colors. So I can see a yellowy, reddy kind of orange there, and I can see green here. So that means that the stone actually would have been oriented like that in the wild. Let's have a look and see on the other side if that's holding true. Well, you can see some green there. You can see some red there. Yes. Okay, good. That is probably how it orients itself. So let's have a look. Just dip it again. A Mintabie stone. So what is there to be said about these Mintabie stones? Now, I think that this is where the world of geology and opal really does collide, and maybe we should think about this a lot. I'm not that great a geologist. I'm probably better than most because I've done soil science. I'm more of a soil scientist, and I do know some of the principles here which are very important. And the principles that I'm going to talk about are: don't mess with the mode of your... Oh, look at that light. I'm going to do that. Don't mess with the mode whilst you're trying to do a serious presentation. All right. So the geologist / soil scientist in me says something about these materials straight away. You can see the silica part of the opal right in the middle of it. But on either side, you can see this sandwiching of sand. Now, this is really, really important. The other thing you need to know about in Mintabie opal is that it is extraordinarily hard. It's a lot harder than your standard opal, probably even harder than Cooper Pedy. So that means there's a few things that you need to do when you're actually managing the stone or when you're trying to cut it. The first thing is, if you go really, really hard with a really coarse wheel, you are going to lose a lot of material because this is really hard, it'll chip off. So reduce the speed of everything when you're cutting the stone. The other thing that we need to really look at, and I've mentioned this a few times, but I'm going to really hammer the point home. On the top here, is that the top? On the bottom here, you can see a layer of sand. On the other side, which I'm presuming is the top, you can see another layer of sand. And whilst we're here, let's have a look at this. We've got really, really thin slither here. Really thin. And this is technically the colour bar. Let's have a look on the other side. Well, wow. Is the colour bar on the bottom here? Try and get it to appear. I don't know. So that colour bar kind of disappears. Let's have a look on the side. Okay, we've got a colour bar that's meandering all over the shop. Well, that kind of typifies Mintabie. Trying to find the colour bar, can't find the darn thing. Okay, but one of the things is, you can see that the colour bar is quite bright. And so, you know, your average opal cutter, they might salivate a little bit when they see this colour bar. They're going, oh, just take the top off and away we go. Now, there's two problems with taking the top off and away we go approach. And that is, the first thing is that it's very, very hard. And so you've got to take the top off carefully. This colour bar, it presents from the side. There is no guarantee. As a matter of fact, you can see that this opal is present right up to the cap here. The bottom, sorry. It's present right up to the bottom here. So technically you should be able to see that opal from the top, and you can't. Look at that. Here I am, I'm gone. Here I am, I'm gone. So this bar is only presenting from the side. It's practically invisible from the top. So imagine getting yourself a nice thick chunk of Mintabie opal, and you're going to go, right, I'm going to get myself the best stone ever. And you just start cutting away, and when you get to what you think is the great colour bar, nothing. That's problem number one. The other problem is something a little bit more technical, and I'm going to have to explain it to you. Sand here, sand here. Now, you should know instinctively that sand, even though sand is silica dioxide, it is very different from the hydrated silica that opal is. It may even have originated from this sand, this opal here. It might have started off as sandstone, for example. The silica might have leached from the sand in the sandstone into this area here and become opal. But that's neither here nor there. It is now opal, and it has got different properties. One of the major properties is the sandstone has got a density of roughly 1.6 or 1.7 grams per cubic centimetre. Different density. The opal has between 2 and 2.1 grams per cubic centimetre, something along those lines. So the opal itself is an awful lot denser. The opal itself is an awful lot harder. The sand is brittle. And the other thing is that because the sand is brittle, the sand will expand. I wasn't trying to rhyme, I'm just great with this. The sand will try to expand, and what I mean by that is that think about where this opal probably was. I don't know how deep it was, but we're assuming at least 2 meters, probably closer to 10. Can you think about the pressure of the overburden at that kind of depth? And that's not very deep, really. So this sand has been compressed. The opal's kind of okay because it's used to being under pressure, but the sand, it's been compressed. When you get this opal to the top, you've got yourself a problem, because now this sand here is free to expand. But this being a denser chunk of opal here, it's not going to want to expand at the same rate. Can you see the problem? This expanding sand creates a huge amount of tension within the opal. And you can even see it here. Have a look. As we zoom right in, or I bring it up, you can see that crack there. Try and drag it off. What we can do, we can have even more fun, because I've got my microscope over in the next section. So what I'll do is I'll just set it all up over here. Okay, let's have a look over here, shall we? Oh yeah. So what you can see here is you can see that crack, but also around that crack, around that crack over here, you can actually see fracture lines. What you're seeing here is an opal that is ridiculously unstable. So what people try to do instantly is that they will try and take one of the pieces of sand off the opal. Let's go back. So they will try to grind the sandy top off the opal. And that's okay if you just grind one of the tops off and don't touch the opal underneath. But generally speaking, they've got that red color bar that they're going for. Yay, let's go get it. There's even a red color bar here somewhere. Let's go get it. But that's a recipe for disaster. You keep going without dealing with the sand on the other side. You've got an unequal pressure situation going on here. The moment you release some of the opal on top, it's going to shatter the whole stone. It doesn't look like much, but if you knew the signs, you'd realize that this is a stone that's under immense pressure. So the first thing you've got to do when you get a Mintabie stone is you have to stabilize it. Easiest way to do that, I'm not going to do it here of course, is just take the sand off the top, take the sand off the bottom. The next thing you do is you just round any corner you can, and don't do it with a coarse sandpaper, and don't do it with a high speed. It's not going to react well to high speed or coarse sandpaper. If you do that, you're going to give yourself a fighting chance of actually getting a Mintabie stone to work. Let's have a look at a few other Mintabies and we'll see what we can expect from them. Because I saw a few in here. Here's a classic example of what people see and salivate with. Whoop, dropped it. Bearing in mind that this is a side bit. So the top is this way, this is the side. So let's have a look at it under the lights. See if we can get it. There we go. Zoom in. See that beautiful red color bar there? It is not really there at all. It's a phantom. It's a mirage. It's going to disappear the moment you cut through the top. You can get it from cutting through the side. This will make a great double at this one. But that red, you don't trust the red, not as far as you can kick it. And of course you can see a little bit of the sandy matrix at the top and a bit of the sand at the bottom. So there's that one. Let's have a look. There's another one here which I thought was really, really interesting. I think it's this one. Have a look at this guy. Plenty of opal all around, but also plenty of sand. So that means that whatever you had for instability in the other opal, you can double or triple this one. This guy is ridiculously unstable, will be very hard to cut. Not impossible, just very hard. You have to get rid of all the sand. Let's see if we can get it. Yeah, I can actually feel the tension kind of springing away as you push little bits. Yeah, this is very, very unstable. Ready to explode. Let's have a look at another one. This is a classic, this piece. You see this black material just before you hit the sandbar. Let me have a look and see if I can spot where the sand is. Okay, well no, it's not typical because the sand is here and the sand is here. So this is just basically a vertical piece of sand. You don't actually see that very often at all. A vertical piece of opal. You can see a tiny little piece of red. I wonder how that will cut. What I might do is I might take a lot of these to the wheel and just cut them, and we'll find out how they go. But just remember what we were looking at here. These Mintabie stones are very difficult to deal with. Takes a great deal of expertise, but they are a lot of fun. I do encourage you to get some Mintabie, and I do encourage you to cut some. They're not easy to come by because apparently there's all sorts of restrictions on the mining of the stone, so you can't get huge amounts of commercial mining. So that means that basically Mintabie will appear when it appears. Some guy will have gone on a holiday down to Mintabie and mined it in their own time. Weird, I know, but some people like doing that. And have fun. And don't worry too much if the Mintabie kills you. I don't mean kills you literally, of course. But if you get smashed up by the Mintabie, if it beats you, well, you're one of thousands. It beats everyone, even the best of us it beats. Definitely has beat me a few times. I'm very, very cautious when I'm cutting this stone. Beautiful stone nonetheless. Maybe one or two more stones to look at before I close this up. Here is a classic piece. This is what I was looking for. big, thick chunk of sand on either side and giant black bar. Look at that. If you see something like that, you know it's Mintabie, and you also know that that red is probably not going to show through. But yeah, that's just got Mintabie written all over it. One more. This is another Mintabie stone which I think might make a good opal because the colour bar goes all the way through and there's a little bit of black in here. Oh, that looks lovely. Ooh, can you see those fracture lines? Might be in a bit of trouble here. I will try and cut that stone, but it looks like it's just about ready to fall apart. I will try and get rid of the sand here, and in this particular instance, I need to get rid of all of the stress here. That stress needs to go, or else the Mintabie will shatter. I really like that one. Probably it'll be a pile of powder in the floor of my cutting room, but you know, technically like it. Maybe I should cut it this way and make a whole... Oh, I'm going to try double-hitting with it. I'll try a very special technique. But that will be for another day. All right. I think that's all I've got. Pick up a few Mintabies. Zoom right out. Next time I do a live stream... I was going to do a live stream today, but it was just too much trouble. I had a big day, had a lot of work to do. You know, I'm not a YouTuber. We've got Opal Battleship still going. I'll move this over so you can have a good look at it. Mention in the comments section, which would you like to be cut? This, for example, is A1. This one over here is E6. And I've tried to keep them all in the middle. I might blue tack them down. How about that? Oh, look at this. These are all Mintabies, by the way. So this one, this is B6. Suggest this one for me if you really hate me, because it's already cracked through. All right. I think we've had enough fun for today. Here, have a look at some more Mintabie. Woo! Dr. Phil out.